My beloved soul, something happened last night, something so rare, so powerful, that even heaven stood still in disbelief. The veil between worlds grew thin, and at the exact moment when the clock whispered past midnight, your door became the center of a divine encounter. This was not a dream. This was not your imagination. This was real, and yet, you were not meant to fully see it, not until now. There are moments in time when the universe aligns in such a precise and sacred way that it causes even the 7 archangels to pause. And last night was one of those moments. Archangel Michael stood at the forefront, surrounded by divine presence, watching closely because something unexpected unfolded right at your doorstep. Something that was not supposed to go unnoticed, but somehow, it slipped past your waking awareness. Can you feel it now? That strange energy lingering in your space? That unexplainable stillness? Or maybe even the subtle discomfort you couldn't quite name this morning? That is not random. That is residue. A trace of what passed through your life while you slept, unaware of the magnitude of what was taking place just beyond your door. You were chosen for this moment, and I need you to understand how significant that is. Out of millions, your space was marked. Your door became a threshold, not just of wood and hinges, but of destiny and revelation. And what crossed that threshold carries a message so urgent that you are being guided to hear this now, before the vision fades completely from your spirit. But here is where it becomes even more shocking. The 7 archangels were not just observing, they were reacting. Their silence was broken. Their attention was fixed. Because what happened was not part of the usual order. It disrupted something. It shifted something. And in that shift, your life was touched in a way that cannot be undone. You may be wondering, why me? Why my home? Why my door? And those are the exact questions the heavens anticipated. Because the truth is, your life has been under watch for longer than you realize. Every struggle, every quiet prayer, every moment you felt unseen, it was all leading to this night. This encounter did not come randomly. It was drawn to you, by your spirit, by your journey, by something deep within you that called it forward. There were signs, small ones, easy to dismiss. Perhaps a sudden noise that didn't make sense. A dream that felt too vivid to ignore. A fleeting feeling that someone, or something, was near. But you brushed it aside, as anyone would. Because the human mind protects itself from what it cannot explain. Yet now, the truth is rising, and it refuses to stay hidden any longer. Listen closely, because time is not on our side. The vision of what happened is already beginning to fade, like mist under the morning sun. And if you do not grasp it now, if you do not open your awareness in this moment, you may miss the message that was meant specifically for you. This is not fear. This is not coincidence. This is a divine interruption. And you are standing at the edge of a revelation that could change everything you thought you knew about your life, your protection, and your purpose. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal will begin to uncover the truth behind what touched your door last night. There was a shift in the atmosphere last night that most people would never notice, but your spirit felt it even if your mind could not understand it. The air around your home became charged, almost as if time itself slowed down to make space for something sacred to pass through. This was not an ordinary night. The silence carried weight. The darkness held intention. And right at the boundary of your home, your door, an unseen exchange took place. In the spiritual realm, doors are never just physical structures. They represent access, permission, and transition. Your door, in that exact moment, became a gateway between what is seen and what is hidden. And as the hour deepened, a presence approached, not with chaos, not with noise, but with a quiet authority that only heaven can carry. Archangel Michael stood near, not distant, but closer than you have ever imagined. His presence was not passive. It was intentional, watchful, and protective. Surrounding him were the other archangels, forming a circle of awareness around your home. Their energy was not ordinary. It was intense, focused, and filled with a kind of urgency that rarely manifests in human spaces. They were not there by accident. They were there because something had been set into motion long before last night ever arrived. Something that had your name written into its path. What makes this moment so extraordinary is not just that they came, but how they reacted. The stillness was not peaceful. It was alert. It was the kind of stillness that comes before a revelation, or before a truth is uncovered that changes everything. And at your door, the truth began to unfold in silence. There was a movement subtle, almost invisible, but powerful enough to shift the energy around your home. Something was either delivered or intercepted. And this is where your story becomes deeply personal. Because whatever stood at your door was connected to you, your life, your journey, your spiritual path. It was not random. It was drawn to you like a signal that could not be ignored. You may not have opened the door physically, but something in the spiritual realm responded. There was a recognition, a moment of alignment where your spirit, even in rest, acknowledged what was taking place. And that is why, even now, something feels different. You may not have the full memory, but your soul carries the imprint of that encounter. There is also something else you need to understand. Not everything that approaches a door is meant to enter. Some things arrive to test boundaries. Some come to deliver messages. And some are stopped before they can cross over. Last night, a decision was made at your threshold, one that involved protection, authority, and divine intervention. This is where the presence of Archangel Michael becomes crucial. He does not stand guard without reason. He does not intervene unless something significant is at stake. And last night, something was at stake. Something that had the potential to alter your path, either by being allowed or by being denied access. The energy that lingered afterward was not accidental. It was the echo of that decision. A quiet aftermath of something that almost happened or something that was prevented just in time. And even though your eyes did not see it, your spirit felt the shift. That is why today feels slightly different, even if you cannot explain why. There is a deeper layer to this, one that is only beginning to reveal itself. Because what occurred at your door was not just about that moment. It was about what comes next. The spiritual realm does not act without purpose. Every movement, every presence, every intervention carries meaning. And last night was no exception. Something has now been set into motion in your life. A chain of events that began at your door but will unfold in the days ahead. And whether you realize it or not, you are now standing in the middle of a transition, one that was activated while you slept, guarded by forces you are only now beginning to understand. Stay aware because the truth is getting closer. Listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is the first layer of truth that was left for you, and it changes everything you thought you understood about last night. There was a message placed at your door, not written in ink, not spoken in words you could hear with your ears, but imprinted in the spiritual fabric of your life. It was precise, it was intentional, and it was meant only for you. You may be wondering how something so important could pass by without your full awareness. But this is where divine timing reveals its mystery. Not all messages are meant to be recognized immediately. Some are planted quietly, waiting for the exact moment when your spirit is ready to receive them. Last night, your soul received it even if your conscious mind is only now beginning to awaken to it. Think back for a moment. Was there a dream that felt unusually vivid? A moment where you woke up suddenly, unsure why? Or perhaps a strange calmness, or even unease, that lingered without explanation? These were not random experiences. These were echoes of the message trying to reach the surface of your awareness. The reason you did not fully grasp it in that moment is not because you missed it, it is because you were being protected. There are times when the full weight of a revelation is too much for the human mind to process instantly. And so, heaven allows it to unfold in layers. Gently, carefully, with purpose. Archangel Michael himself ensured that what was delivered to you would not overwhelm you, but instead awaken you step by step. What was left at your door carries both a warning and a calling. It is a signal that something in your life is shifting, and that you are being invited to step into a deeper level of awareness. But here is the truth that many are not ready to hear. You were not just a passive receiver in this moment. Your spirit responded. Your energy aligned with what was placed before you. And that response is what allowed the message to anchor itself within you. There is also a hidden reason why this message came during the night. Night is not just a time of rest. It is a time when the spiritual realm moves more freely, when distractions are quieted, and when your soul is more open to divine encounters. While your body rested, your spirit was alert in ways you do not yet fully understand. And in that state, the message was received without resistance. But here is where the urgency returns, because messages like this do not remain clear forever. If they are not acknowledged, they begin to fade, not because they lose power, but because the window of awareness begins to close. That is why you are being drawn to hear this now. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. You are being given a chance to recognize what was placed before you, to reclaim the awareness that slipped past your waking mind. And once you see it clearly, you will begin to understand why the 7 archangels reacted the way they did. Because what was delivered to you is not small. It is not ordinary. It carries weight that reaches beyond this moment and into your future. Do not ignore what you are feeling right now. That subtle pull in your spirit, that sense that something is connecting, that is the message rising within you. It has been there since last night, waiting for this exact moment to be acknowledged. Now is the time to receive it fully. Type "I receive" the message in the comments if you feel this truth awakening within you. Blessing code 541 is now being released into your life, opening your awareness and strengthening your spiritual vision. And as this revelation settles into your spirit, understand this: what happened at your door is not just about you. It is part of a greater mission to awaken souls who have been waiting for a sign, just like you. When you choose to support this message, you are not simply giving, you are planting seeds of light into lives that are still searching in the dark. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And this is not just a promise. It is a living flow of divine exchange. I feel called to act, to become a vessel through which this light continues to reach others who are still unaware of their moment. If this message has touched you, then let your response be more than words. Sow into this mission through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link in the description, which is also available as a QR code in every video. This is your moment to act in alignment with what has been revealed. As you give, may your life be filled with unexpected doors opening, with protection standing firm at every threshold, and with clarity that grows stronger each day. Step into this now. Act without hesitation. Let your response become part of the miracle that is unfolding. Here is something you must now understand, something that shifts this entire experience from mysterious to truly extraordinary. The reaction of the 7 archangels was not symbolic. It was real, immediate, and deeply significant. These are beings who exist in divine order, who operate in perfect alignment with heavenly authority. They do not react without reason. And yet, last night, something at your door caused a ripple that moved through all 7 of them at once. Archangel Michael stood at the center, unwavering as always. Yet even in his strength there was a heightened alertness. Around him were the others, each carrying a distinct role, a unique divine assignment. There was the presence of the messenger, the healer, the watcher, the revealer, the restorer, and the one who governs divine timing. Together, they form a balance that rarely shifts. But last night, that balance was stirred. Why? Because what they witnessed at your door did not follow the usual pattern. In the spiritual realm, events unfold with precision. There are sequences, permissions, and divine laws that guide every interaction. But occasionally, something occurs that bends expectation, not in chaos but in purpose. What happened at your door was one of those moments. It was not disorder, it was interruption. A divine interruption that redirected something that had already been set in motion. Imagine this for a moment, a path that was leading toward you, carrying an outcome that could have touched your life in a way you were not prepared for. That path was real. It was active. But just as it reached your threshold, something changed you. Something intervened. And that intervention is what caused the archangels to react. There was a pause, an unspoken recognition that what had just taken place was not part of the original flow. The energy shifted instantly. What was expected did not unfold the way it normally would. And in that shift, a new outcome was created for you. This is why their attention was so focused. Because moments like this reveal something deeper about your life. They reveal that you are not moving through existence unnoticed. You are not just following a fixed path. You are being actively guided, protected, and, at times, redirected. Each of the archangels present perceived something slightly different in that moment. One saw the danger that had been approaching. Another saw the protection that stepped in. Another recognized the change in your timeline. And one, in particular, saw what this moment would mean for your future. That is why there was shock, not fear, but a profound awareness that something rare had just occurred. And here is the truth that is only now beginning to settle into place. Your timeline shifted last night. What does that mean? It means that something that could have unfolded in your life has now been altered. A path that was once ahead of you has been changed. Not erased but redirected. And this kind of shift does not happen randomly. It happens when divine authority steps in and says, "This will not continue as planned." That is what Archangel Michael did for you. He stood at your threshold and made a decision that affected your path. A decision rooted in protection, in purpose, and in something greater than what you can currently see. And the presence of the other archangels confirms just how important that decision was. You may not fully understand it yet, but you will begin to notice its effects. Things may feel different. Certain situations may shift unexpectedly. Paths that once seemed certain may no longer unfold the same way. This is not confusion. This is alignment adjusting itself to the new direction that was set in motion last night. Here is also something else, something even more profound. When a moment like this occurs, it does not only change what was coming toward you, it also activates something within you. A heightened awareness, a deeper sensitivity to what is real and what is not. You are being awakened to see beyond the surface. This is why you are hearing this now. Because your spirit is ready to begin understanding what your mind could not grasp before. The shock of the archangels was not just about what was prevented, it was about what has now become possible for you. And as this realization continues to unfold, you will begin to see that last night was not just an isolated moment. It was a turning point. A quiet, unseen turning point that has already begun to reshape your journey in ways you are only starting to recognize. Stay with this awareness, because what comes next will reveal even more about the presence that stood at your door. There is a presence you have not yet fully understood, something that stood at your door last night, not as a random force, but as a purposeful visitor. And now, the time has come to look deeper into what, or who, that presence truly was. Because this was not a simple passing moment. This was an encounter layered with meaning, intention, and divine testing. Not every presence that approaches a threshold comes with the same purpose. Some arrive as messengers, carrying divine instruction. Some come as tests measuring spiritual readiness, and others attempt to cross boundaries they were never meant to enter. What stood at your door carried a weight that made even the heavens pay attention. It was not ordinary. It was not unnoticed. And it was not without consequence. Archangel Michael did not take his position there by chance. His presence reveals something critical. There was a need for discernment, for authority, and for protection all at once. This was not a moment where things were left to unfold freely. This was a moment where a decision had to be made. The presence at your door carried an energy that required evaluation. It was not immediately allowed, nor was it immediately rejected. There was a pause, a divine pause, where its purpose was examined. This is something many people do not realize about the spiritual realm. There are moments where access is not automatic. There are moments where what approaches must be measured against your path, your purpose, and your spiritual alignment. And in that moment, something about you became very important. Because your life is not just a sequence of random events. It holds value. It holds direction. And it holds a calling that is being guarded more closely than you may have ever imagined. What stood at your door was, in some way, connected to that calling. Either it was coming to challenge it or to confirm it. You may feel a strange sense of curiosity rising within you now. A question forming quietly. Was it something good or something I needed to be protected from? And the truth is, the answer is not as simple as one or the other. Because some encounters carry both elements. Some moments are designed to test your spiritual boundary while also revealing your level of protection. What matters most is what happened next. As the presence lingered at your threshold, the atmosphere did not remain neutral. There was a shift, subtle but decisive. Authorities stepped forward, not with noise, not with force, but with a command that does not need to be spoken aloud. It was understood instantly in the spiritual realm. A line was drawn, and that line was your protection. Archangel Michael does not negotiate when it comes to what is allowed to cross into your life. His role is clear. He guards. He defends. He ensures that what is not aligned with your purpose does not gain access. And last night, that role was activated fully. Something stood at your door, but it did not enter. That detail is more important than anything else you have heard so far. Because it tells you that no matter what approached, it was not given permission to cross into your space. Whether it was a test, a message, or something that carried a different intention, the outcome was controlled. The boundary held firm. And yet, even without entering, it left an imprint. That is why this moment feels so significant. Because even when something does not fully cross into your life, it can still leave behind a trace, a sign, a message, a shift in awareness. And that is exactly what you are experiencing now. You are not dealing with something that overtook you. You are dealing with something that revealed something to you. There is also a deeper layer to this encounter that you are only beginning to sense. Your home, your space, is not just physical. It carries your energy, your history, your identity. And when something approaches your door, it is not just approaching a structure, it is approaching you. This is why the moment was so carefully handled. Because what stands at your door stands at the edge of your life. And last night, your life was observed, evaluated, and protected all at once. This was not random. This was not meaningless. This was a moment that revealed how closely you are being watched, not in fear, but in care, not in judgment, but in guidance. And now, as the truth continues to unfold, one thing becomes clear: whatever came to your door did not arrive without purpose. But more importantly, it did not leave without leaving something behind for you to discover. There is something deeply important. You must now come to terms with something that may shift the way you see your life from this moment forward. Last night was not only about what came to your door, it was also about what almost happened and what was stopped just in time. There was a moment, brief but powerful, where something stood on the edge of entering your life in a way that could have altered your path. It was close, closer than you realize. And yet, it did not cross. That was not chance. That was intervention. In the spiritual realm, timing is everything. There are moments when events align so precisely that if even a second passes without action, the outcome changes completely. Last night was one of those moments. Something approached with intention, carrying a possibility that had weight. It was not weak. It was not insignificant. It had the potential to take something from you, something valuable, something connected to your peace, your direction, or even your clarity. But before that could happen, a force stood in the way. Archangel Michael did not hesitate. His presence became the dividing line between what was approaching and what was allowed to remain yours. This was not symbolic protection. This was active, immediate, and decisive. A boundary was reinforced with authority that cannot be questioned. What many people never realize is that there are battles fought on their behalf that they will never see. Silent confrontations. See resistance. Moments where something is taken away from danger without them ever knowing how close it came. Last night, you were in the center of one of those moments. Something was almost taken from you, but it wasn't. Pause for a moment and let that settle within you. Because this is not just about fear or danger. This is about understanding the level of protection that surrounds your life. There are things you have been preserved from without even realizing it. And this moment is a clear example of that truth. The presence that stood at your door did not leave unchanged. It encountered resistance. It encountered authority. And it encountered a force that made it clear: this life, your life, is not open to just anything. There are boundaries in place, and they are not easily crossed. But here is where the deeper meaning begins to unfold. When something is prevented at such a precise moment, it is not only about stopping what was coming, it is about preserving what is already within you. There is something in your life right now that holds value. Something that is meant to grow, to unfold, to become stronger. And whatever approached last night had the potential to disrupt that. That is why the intervention was so immediate. Archangel Michael does not act without reason. His protection is not random. It is targeted, intentional, and always aligned with purpose. When he steps in, it is because something matters deeply. And in this case, that something is you. You may not yet fully see what has been preserved, but you will begin to notice it. There may be situations that suddenly shift in your favor. Confusion that clears unexpectedly. A sense of stability that feels stronger than before. These are not coincidences. These are the effects of something being protected at the exact moment it needed to be. There is also something else you need to understand. Protection does not always remove challenges from your life, but it does ensure that what is meant for you is not taken away before its time. And last night, something that belongs to your future was guarded. This is why you are being asked to trust what you cannot yet fully see. Because the truth is, you were standing at the edge of a moment that could have gone differently, and yet it didn't. That is not luck. That is divine alignment. And now, as you move forward, there is a quiet reassurance being placed within you. You are not alone. You are not unguarded. You are not moving through life without awareness from the spiritual realm. There is attention on you. There is care surrounding you. And there is protection that activates at the exact moment it is needed. Last night proved that. But it also revealed something more. If something so significant had to be stopped, then what lies ahead for you must be just as significant, if not greater. And that is what we are about to uncover next. There is a truth rising now, one that has been quietly forming beneath everything you have heard so far. Last night was not just about protection, it was about activation. Something within you has shifted, and whether you fully recognize it yet or not, you are no longer standing in the same place spiritually as you were before that moment. When an event like this occurs, when something approaches, is evaluated, and then stopped, it does not end there. It leaves behind a mark. Not a mark of fear, but a mark of awareness. A signal that your life has reached a point where greater attention is required, because something greater is unfolding. Archangel Michael did not just protect you last night, he confirmed something about you. He confirmed that your life is not ordinary, that your path is not random, that your journey is being watched with a level of care that only exists when purpose is involved. You have now entered a moment of awakening. This does not mean everything will suddenly become clear overnight. In fact, awakening often begins subtly. It shows itself in the way you start to notice things you once ignored, the way your intuition becomes sharper, the way certain situations no longer feel the same. These are not small changes. These are signs that your awareness is expanding. Last night acted as a trigger. Something was activated within your spirit, something that had been waiting for the right moment to come forward. And now that it has been touched, it cannot return to where it was before. You are beginning to see differently, to feel differently, to question things you once accepted without thought. This is not confusion, this is transformation. There is also a connection between this moment and everything you have gone through in your past. The struggles you faced, the moments where you felt uncertain, the times you questioned your direction. None of those experiences were wasted. They were shaping you, preparing you for a moment where your awareness would need to rise to a higher level. And that moment is now. What happened at your door was not isolated from your life. It was connected to it. It was a result of a journey that has been building over time. Every step you have taken, every challenge you have endured, has brought you closer to this point of recognition. You are no longer just moving through life without understanding. You are beginning to see that there is structure behind what you experience, that there are moments designed to wake you up, to bring you into alignment with something greater. This is why you may feel a sense of intensity right now. Not fear, but awareness. A feeling that something important is happening, even if you cannot yet fully define it. That feeling is real. It is your spirit adjusting to the shift that has already taken place. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that this shift is not something you are facing alone. His presence is not just about protection. It is about guidance, about ensuring that as you awaken, you are not overwhelmed, but strengthened. There is also something else that must be understood. You have been marked, not in a way that should cause fear, but in a way that signifies recognition. Your life hath been acknowledged. Your path has been noted. And when something like that happens, it means that what you do next carries even greater importance. You are now more aware than you were before. And with awareness comes responsibility. The responsibility to pay attention, to listen more closely, to trust what you feel, even when it does not yet make complete sense. Because what lies ahead will require that awareness. The events of last night were not the conclusion, they were the beginning. A quiet but powerful beginning that is already influencing the direction of your life. You may not see all the changes immediately, but they are there, unfolding step by step. This is a moment of transition. You are moving from a place of unknowing into a place of understanding. From being unaware of what surrounds you to recognizing that there is more happening than what meets the eye. And as this awareness continues to grow, one thing becomes clear: you were not just protected last night. You were awakened. There is a deeper message now rising to the surface, one that was not meant to stay hidden forever, but also not meant to reveal itself all at once. What was left at your door did not disappear. It remained, waiting for the moment when your awareness would be strong enough to receive it. And that moment is now. This message is not loud. It does not demand attention through force. Instead, it calls to you quietly, through feeling, through intuition, through that unexplainable sense that something is shifting inside you. That is how divine communication often works. It does not overwhelm, it invites. But the invitation must be accepted before it fades. Archangel Michael is guiding this revelation carefully, because what you are about to understand carries both clarity and responsibility. The message left for you is not just about what happened, it is about what must now happen next. There is something in your life that requires your attention. Something you may have been delaying, avoiding, or simply not recognizing for what it truly is. The encounter at your door was not random. It was a signal. A moment designed to bring your awareness back to something important that cannot be ignored any longer. Think about the areas in your life where you have felt hesitation, where something inside you has been trying to guide you, but you have not fully acted on it. That is where this message is pointing. It is not coming to confuse you. It is coming to redirect you. But here is the urgency: you must not overlook this. Clarity will not remain at the same intensity forever. Right now, you are in a window of awareness where things are becoming clearer, where your spirit is more open to understanding. But if this moment is dismissed, if the feeling is ignored, it will begin to fade, not because it is gone, but because your attention has moved away from it. That is why you were drawn here. That is why you are hearing this now. This is your moment to recognize what has been placed before you. There is also a powerful truth connected to this message. It carries guidance, not just information. It is not enough to understand it. It must be acted upon. Because what was left at your door was not meant to remain as a mystery. It was meant to create movement in your life. Archangel Michael does not reveal things without purpose. When he allows awareness to rise, it is because something within you is ready to respond. And right now, you are being asked to respond, not with fear, but with clarity. Not with hesitation, but with trust. There is a path opening in front of you, but it requires your attention to remain visible. If you look away, if you return to old patterns of ignoring what you feel, that path will become harder to see. Not because it disappears, but because you are no longer aligned with it. This is your moment to stay present, to listen, to recognize that something meaningful is unfolding, even if it does not yet have a clear form in your mind. The message is simple, but powerful. Pay attention. Something in your life is calling for alignment. Do not dismiss the feeling that is rising within you right now. That feeling is the echo of what was left at your door. It is the connection between that moment and this one. And it is guiding you towards something that is meant for you. Type "I am aware" in the comments if you feel this shift within you. Blessing code 882 is now activated, strengthening your clarity and opening your path to divine understanding. And as this awareness deepens, hear this clearly. This message is not meant to stay with you alone. Just as something was delivered to your door, there are countless others waiting for their moment of awakening. When you choose to give, you are not simply offering support. You are becoming a vessel through which light reaches those who are still in darkness. The word speaks, "Those who sow in faith shall reap in abundance," and this is a living truth unfolding right now. I feel the call within me to act, to extend this message beyond myself, to help it reach the soul that is still waiting for confirmation. If this message has stirred something real in you, then step into alignment with it. Sow into this mission through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link provided in the description, also accessible through the QR code in every video. This is more than giving, it is a divine response. As you release your seed, may doors open before you without resistance, may clarity follow you in every decision, and may protection remain steady at every threshold of your life. Act now. Do not delay. Step into this moment with certainty and purpose. There is a connection you are only now beginning to see, a thread that stretches backward through your life, quietly linking your past to what happened at your door last night. This moment did not begin yesterday. It has been forming, piece by piece, through experiences you may have once questioned, doubted, or even tried to forget. Nothing about your journey has been SL. Every delay, every unexpected turn, every moment where things did not go the way you planned. These were not interruptions. They were preparations. They were aligning you, shaping you, positioning you for a moment that required you to be exactly who you are now. Archangel Michael has been present in ways you may not have recognized before. Not always visible, not always obvious, but always aware. There were times when you felt like you were facing things alone, when you questioned why certain struggles kept appearing in your life. But what you could not see then was how those moments were strengthening your spirit, sharpening your awareness, and preparing you for what has now begun. Think back to the moments where you felt a strong inner pull, a sense that something was guiding you, even when you could not explain it. Those instincts, those quiet nudges, were not random. They were part of a pattern that has been leading you toward greater understanding. There were also moments when things did not work out the way you expected. Opportunities that seemed right but fell apart. Paths that felt promising but suddenly closed. At the time, it may have felt frustrating, even confusing. But now, a new perspective is beginning to form. What if those closed doors were not losses but protection? What if you were being redirected away from something that was not aligned with your true path? Last night begins to answer those questions. Because when something approached your door and was stopped, it revealed something profound. Your life is being guided with intention. Not every path is meant for you. Not every opportunity is meant to unfold. And not every presence is allowed to enter your life. This is where your past begins to make sense. The moments you thought were setbacks were actually adjustments. The delays you struggled to understand were actually timing being aligned. And the challenges that tested you were preparing you to recognize truth when it finally revealed itself. Archangel Michael does not only protect in moments of danger, he also guides through moments of uncertainty. He ensures that even when you cannot see the full picture, You are still moving in the right direction. And now, as you stand in this moment of awareness, you can begin to see how everything connects. What happened at your door was not isolated. It was a continuation of a journey that has been unfolding for a long time. A journey that has been quietly guided, step by step, even when you were unaware of it. There is also something deeply personal in this realization. You were never as lost as you thought you were. Even in your most uncertain moments, there was direction. Even when things felt unclear, there was structure behind it. And even when you felt alone, there was presence surrounding you. This is the truth that is now rising within you. And as it does, something else begins to shift your perspective. You start to see your past not as a series of random events, but as a path that has been carefully shaped. You begin to understand that what you experienced was necessary to bring you to this point of recognition. Because without those moments, you would not be able to understand what is happening now. Without those challenges, you would not be able to feel the significance of what was prevented last night. Without that journey, you would not be ready to step into what is coming next. This is where everything begins to align. Your past, your present, and what lies ahead are no longer separate. They are connected. And that connection is what gives meaning to everything you are experiencing right now. So do not look back with confusion anymore. Look back with understanding. Because every step you took has led you here to this moment, where the truth is no longer hidden, but beginning to reveal itself clearly. And as that clarity continues to grow, you will begin to see that what happened at your door was not just about protection, it was about confirmation. There comes a moment in every spiritual awakening where understanding is no longer enough, where knowing must turn into action. And this is that moment for you. What happened at your door was not only meant to reveal truth, it was meant to move you, to shift you from passive awareness into intentional alignment with what is unfolding in your life. You are no longer standing in a place where you can ignore what you feel. There is a quiet urgency now, not driven by fear, but by purpose. A sense that something is asking for your attention, your focus, your willingness to respond. This is not pressure, it is invitation. But it is an invitation that carries weight, because what you choose to do next will influence how this revelation continues to unfold. Archangel Michael is not only a protector, he is a guide. And when guidance is given, it is meant to be followed, not observed from a distance. The message that reached you is not complete until it becomes part of your actions. So what does that mean for you now? It means you must begin to pay closer attention to your life in a way you may not have before. The patterns, the choices, the feelings that arise within you, these are no longer things to dismiss. They are signals, indicators of where alignment is needed. There may be areas in your life where you have been settling, where you have accepted less than what you truly feel called toward. Situations where you have remained out of comfort, even though something within you has been urging you to move, to change, to step into something different. This is where the message is pointing. Because when something is protected at your door, it is often because something greater is meant to enter your life instead. But for that to happen, space must be created. This is where action becomes necessary. It does not mean making sudden, reckless decisions. It means becoming aware of what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. It means having the courage to acknowledge what you feel, even if it challenges your current reality. Archangel Michael stands with you in this process, not to force change, but to strengthen you as you move through it. Because alignment is not always easy, but it is always necessary for growth. There is also something you must be careful of in this moment, ignoring this awareness. Because when a message is given and not acted upon, it does not disappear, it becomes distant, harder to hear, less clear. Not because it has lost its power, but because your attention has shifted away from it. That is why this moment matters so much. You are being given clarity while it is still strong. You are being shown direction while it is still visible. And what you do with that clarity will determine how clearly you continue to see your path moving forward. There is no need for fear in this. You are not being rushed into something you are not ready for. But you are being asked to remain present, to stay connected to what you feel, to trust that the awareness rising within you is not random, it is guidance. You may begin to notice small changes in the way you think, in the way you respond to situations, in the way you view your future. These are not coincidences. These are the early signs of alignment taking place. And as you move forward, something else will begin to happen. Opportunities will appear. Moments where you are given the chance to act differently, to choose differently, to step into a direction that feels more aligned with what you now understand. These moments may seem small at first, but they are significant, because they are the bridges between awareness and action. Crossing those bridges is what moves you forward. Avoiding them keeps you where you are. This is your choice now, to remain where things are familiar, or to step into what is being revealed. Archangel Michael has already shown that you are protected. Now, you are being shown that you are also being guided. And guidance, when followed, leads to transformation. So listen closely to what is within you. Pay attention to what feels true. And do not turn away from what you are beginning to understand. Because this moment is not just about knowing. It is about becoming. Now the truth must be revealed in its clearest form, the truth that has been building through everything you have heard so far. What happened at your door last night was not just an encounter, not just a moment of protection, not just a message. It was a divine decision point. A moment where two possible paths stood before your life and one of them was stopped. This is what caused the shock among the 7 archangels. It was not simply that something approached your door. It was that what approached carried a real outcome, an outcome that, if allowed to pass through, would have set a different course in motion for you. This was not a small interruption. This was a redirection of your timeline. Archangel Michael recognized it instantly. What stood at your threshold was not unfamiliar to the spiritual realm, but its timing, its alignment with your life, that is what made the moment so critical. It arrived at a point where your path was vulnerable to change, where a single shift could have altered the direction you were meant to follow. And so, a decision was made. Not randomly, not emotionally, but with complete clarity and authority. What was not aligned with your purpose was denied entry. That is the truth. There is no need to soften it, no need to make it symbolic. Something real was stopped. Something that could have influenced your thoughts, your direction, your choices in ways you may not have immediately recognized, but that would have gradually shifted your path away from where you are meant to go. This is why the archangels reacted the way they did, because moments like this are rare. Moments where a path is actively altered in real time, where what was about to unfold is intercepted and redirected. It is not common, and it is not without significance. You were standing at a crossroads and you didn't even know it. One path would have led you into confusion, into subtle misalignment, into a version of your life that felt close to right, but never fully right. The other path, the one you are now on, keeps you aligned with something deeper, something more true to who you are meant to become. And that path is the one that was protected. Archangel Michael did not just guard your door. He guarded your direction. Let that truth settle within you. because it means that your life is not drifting without purpose. It means that even when you are unaware, there are moments where greater forces step in to ensure that you do not lose your way. It means that your path matters enough to be preserved. There is also something else you must understand about this moment. You were not chosen by accident. The fact that this decision took place at your door, at your threshold, connected to your life, means that there is something within you that holds significance. Something that is not meant to be diverted, not meant to be diluted, not meant to be lost. And that is why intervention occurred. You may begin to notice now that certain things feel clearer than before. That certain distractions no longer hold the same power over you. That certain directions you once considered no longer feel right. This is not coincidence. This is the result of the path being corrected. You are now moving forward with greater alignment than you had before that moment. And while you may not see the full outcome yet, you will begin to feel it. In your decisions, in your clarity, in your sense of direction. This is the effect of a protected path. The shock of the Archangels was not just about what was stopped. It was about what has now been secured for you. Because when one path is closed with that level of authority, it is because another path is being preserved with equal intention. You are now walking on that preserved path. And as you continue forward, there is only one thing left for you to do: accept it. Accept that your life is being guided. Accept that what was meant to distract you has been removed. Accept that you are now moving in alignment with something greater than what you could have planned on your own. Because once you accept that truth fully, everything begins to change. And what comes next will no longer feel uncertain. It will feel directed. My chosen one, as everything now settles into place, there is a calm that begins to rise within you, a quiet, steady knowing that what happened was not meant to harm you, but to guide you. The intensity of the moment, the mystery, the question, they were all part of leading you here, to this understanding, to this peace. Last night was not meant to leave you in fear. It was meant to awaken you to the truth that you are seen, that you are protected, and that your life is moving with purpose, even in ways you cannot always see. Archangel Michael stands with you still, not at a distance, not only in moments of urgency, but in the quiet continuation of your journey. His presence is not something that comes and goes. It remains. It watches. It strengthens. And now, you are no longer unaware. You understand that something real took place at your door. You understand that a path was shifted, that something was prevented, and that something greater has been preserved for you. But more importantly, you understand that you are not alone in any of this. There is a peace in knowing that your life is not left to chance. Even when you do not have all the answers, even when the future is not fully visible, there is guidance surrounding you. There is protection that does not sleep. There is a presence that does not turn away. And as the vision of last night begins to fade, as it gently dissolves into memory, its purpose does not disappear. Its impact remains within you. It becomes part of your awareness, part of your strength, part of the way you now move forward. You may not remember every detail, and you do not need to. What matters is what you now carry. A deeper sense of trust, a clear awareness of your path, a stronger connection to what is guiding you. This is what was meant to stay with you. So release the need to hold on to the mystery. Release the need to understand every detail. You have already received what was meant for you. And as you continue forward, more will be revealed in the right time, in the right way. For now, rest in this truth: you are protected. You are guided. You are aligned with something greater than what you can see. And nothing that is meant for you will be taken away. Type "I trust the path" in the comments if you feel peace settling into your spirit right now. Blessing code 999 is now activated, sealing your protection and strengthening your alignment with divine purpose. And as this message comes to its gentle close, hear this as a living call, not separate from what you have just received, but flowing directly from it. What reached your door last night was not only for you. It was a spark meant to ignite light in others who are still waiting in silence. The word speaks even now. As you sow, so shall you reap. And this is not distant scripture. It is God speaking into your very moment, inviting you into the flow of giving and receiving. I feel the stirring within me to act, to become part of this movement, to help carry this light to the one who is still searching for their sign. If this message has touched your spirit, then let your response become an extension of that divine moment. Sow your seed through Super Thanks or through the PayPal link placed in every video description, also available as a QR code within each video. This is not just support, it is alignment with the very message that found you. As you give, may your life overflow like a river that never runs dry. May doors open before you without resistance. May protection stand firm at every entrance of your life. And may clarity guide every step you take from this moment forward. Step into this now. Act in faith. Let your giving become a declaration that you are part of something greater.